Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today, and today, Jayson Tatum. It's been made official that Jayson Tatum has torn his right Achilles. I hate to see it. You hate to see it for Jayson Tatum. Eighth season, and having one of his best years this year. Averaged 27 points per game this year, alongside averaging 9 rebounds per game, 6 assists per game from three this season, shooting 35% in his 72 games this year. And the postseason was, did have a rough start to the Knicks series, but was great in the Orlando series where they won, and was great last night with 42 points, had 8 rebounds and 4 assists. But in the playoffs, his average 28 points per game. It was one of the rebound leaders in the playoffs. Was like, I want to say last night they said top 3 in rebounds in the postseason. 11.5 rebounds per game, 5.5 assists per game, 2.1 steals per game, almost 1 block per game from three, shooting 37% from three, even though he's shooting a career high in the postseason, 10 3-pointers a game in his 8 playoff games this postseason. So Jayson Tatum has just been great this postseason. Like I said, had a rough start to the Knicks series in the first couple games, but the last 2 games of the series was a lot better. The Magic series, he played a lot of great basketball, so it's tough to see him go down the way he did last night. I think it's crazy the fact that there are some people that are actually celebrating this, actually happy about this because someone that they dislike. Look, I don't care. Dislike Jayson Tatum, hate him. Like, I really don't care. I'm not a Celtics fan. I honestly don't care. Look, I don't really understand why, like Jayson Tatum, part of me can understand why he's hated because he's on a great team. And there is a little bit of cockiness here and there you'll see from him because he's a confident player. But so, I look at that and I don't really care if you hate the man or not, or dislike him as a player. But to celebrate someone's injury when it's I'm not gonna say it's career altering, but you know what? It could be career altering. You never know how a guy's gonna come back from a Achilles injury. I think luckily for Jayson Tatum, look, this is not like a Damian Lillard situation. Lillard is much older. We just saw what happened with him. So luckily for Tatum, he's still young. He's 27 years old. So I think that's the good thing. He's not as old as when Kevin Durant tore his Achilles, or Damian Lillard, what we just saw about a couple weeks ago. So there is where you feel good about Jayson Tatum and his injury. But an Achilles injury can really put a toll on you, and especially if we're probably not going to see him play for the next year and a half. It is most likely Jayson Tatum misses all of next season. There is probably no point in bringing him back next year. Technically he could have come back by March or April, around that area, but it's probably a huge risk to do that. So you probably won't see Jayson Tatum back until the 2026-27 season. And with that being said, it's going to be another year and a half since you most likely see Jayson Tatum play. But this could be a serious injury. So the fact that people are actually going out there, happy about this or celebrating it, like I've seen it so much on social media, it's mind boggling. But I pray for Jayson Tatum and hope that he gets back on the court okay. But I think the craziest thing will be what happens with the Celtics. Most likely they're not gonna come back from 3-1 without Jayson Tatum. I'm not gonna say Look, I don't think it happens. I don't think they win 3 games without Jayson Tatum in a row. But if they were to, they're not going to win the championship without Jayson Tatum. So the question begins of, now that the Celtics team's most likely going to lose in the second round, what happens next? There are going to be a lot of questions regardless if this injury happened or not, because there were going to be these questions about some trades the Celtics were going to make. Now, I think that really pushes this Celtics team to make some moves this offseason. With Tatum most likely missing all of next season, you might not see the Celtics be very good next year, especially if they look to trade some guys like Holiday or Porzingis, and then you're without Tatum. Who knows what happens with Jaylen Brown? Let me know your thought, but I don't think we're going to see this team get into those decisions until they are officially eliminated by the New York Knicks, which should happen unless the Celtics win 3 games in a row without their best player. That's the video. If you guys enjoyed, and peace out.